What's up, guys, and welcome to The Reload. My name is Cody Luongo, and today we are talking PUBG, the Star Series and I-League Season 2 finals that are coming right up. And since my knowledge of PUBG is a little so-so, I figured we bring in our guest today to come in and help me out and talk about the game, the markets, and everything about this tournament. So without further ado, our guest on the PUBG episode. What is up, guys? Thank you for joining me.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
And
Hello.
we'll go, I guess, across the list. We got Adam Fitch in the lower left, my colleague at ESI. He's a self-proclaimed PUBG expert, knows everything about the game, all the stats. He knows I'm kidding. Adam, how are you, pal?
I'm good, thank you. I guess I'm here to make you look good, since I don't really know anything about esports. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, if we're counting it like that, I think you guys are making me look bad is what's happening. Because you all know everything about
Probably,
PUBG.
mate. No, you do that yourself. You do that yourself.
Tom, second time on the Reload. How are you, pal? Thank you for joining me again.
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having us. Should have learnt your lesson last time, but definitely appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
As long as you got that internet fixed, I'm cool. I'm cool. We can work
I'm
through
getting
problems.
there. I'm on my mobile data at the moment, so we'll see how it goes.
And obviously, last but not least, Drain X. He is the co-founder. I'm sorry, creator of PUBG Radar. I'm getting you and Tom mixed up. Creator of PUBG Radar. Unfortunately, not graced with this video feed, but we have this beautiful headshot. Drain, you're a great-looking guy. How are you, man?
All good, all good.
Ah,
It's really nice to be here.
dude, thank you for coming on, man. I just want to ask you first, how did you what got you involved with PUBG Radar? Why did you decide to start that?
Well, it was like last summer. There were like a lot of online PUBG leagues starting up, but there was like no information on when they, other than at their websites, there was like no information on when the games were, like not collected in one place. So I just decided to make it since I was used to having HLTV for Counter-Strike,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted something similar, and no one else was doing it, so yeah.
How long has PUBG Radar been in business? Like how long have you had the site running?
I think it's like since August last year or something like that.
Okay. Sweet, man. Well, I
Yeah.
definitely like what you're doing. Like I think Tom is doing a similar thing with the betting, just aggregating all the best news. And so in PUBG, again, something that for me, like I said, I'm not super into it. I don't follow a whole lot of it. But, I think a huge problem with a lot of esports leagues is that there's so much happening in different places. There's so many different leagues, so many different tournaments, majors, minors, every qualifiers happening, here, right, and over there, and it's just kind of tough to follow it. So definitely like what you guys
Yeah.
are doing over there. Before we start anything, I teased you guys coming on the show. Let's go ahead and just bring that graphic up real fast because I love doing this every time. And I know Adam went ahead.
Atrocious.
Do you guys know which one you are?
I'm the one that's
Well, I'm
incorrect.
definitely the bird
Think
because I'm
so.
so flying.
Oh, and your iconic beanie wearing. Yeah.
I went super hard on Adams. I mean, look, that is a journalist
Yeah, but
bird.
then my last name's not
That's
Finch.
legit.
It's Fitch. It's not Finch. So the fact you put a Finch
Like your
there,
aunt sounds
it's
like.
not a thing. You got it wrong.
reminds me
And
of
I mean, I
Christmas.
shouldn't even be here
People
for the
arguing.
disrespect.
I thought a Fitch was a
Shouldn't
bird
be.
the entire time.
Well, do your research, mate. You're supposed to be a writer and a journalist, aren't you?
I
Come
don't
on,
study
man.
birds. I'm not a bird watcher.
Bird
great.
journalist.
I do.
Oh man, so let's just jump into some PUBG. We got the Star Series Season 2. The finals are coming up really fast. It was the top 8 were invites from the Star Series Season 1. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the top 8 from this Season 2 event advanced. So where's this event taking place, by the way? Does anyone know? It's
Kiev Cybersport Arena in Ukraine.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
Okay. So
I
let's
know my stuff.
let's go ahead and bring up the group standings right now. So here you got the top 16 teams, and obviously the top 8 were advancing. So from Team MVP to Ghost Gaming, what are you guys thinking about this lineup right here? I guess I'll point that to Drain. What do you think about the teams that are advancing to the next stage?
Well, I think all of them are great. I mean, I was a bit surprised that the Koreans did as well as they did. And yeah, I was expecting the European teams to do better, but at least they all went through. And I think the Chinese teams, it looked like they were doing really well early on, but then none of them went through. So that's a bit disappointing, especially on Erangel, the most played map usually. They did really well.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed I was surfing through the results a bit, and I noticed that Team MVP got quite a bit of first place finishes there. Obviously, they seeded first, moving into the next leg of this event. You think they're probably going to be the favorites out of the top 8 that advanced?
Yeah,
Who are you asking?
I think so.
That's open to the
Yeah, I mean,
floor. Whoever.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
definitely
MVP
what I've been
Adam's saying no.
partners. They are definitely. I mean, MVP are coming through as off this list the favourites. One of the things that I found quite surprising is even though WTSG came 6th, they still are seeded above Knights and Method with regards to like the bookies' favourites. So yeah, I still think out of the 8 that were left over, MVP is definitely top of that list. M19 placed relatively high, but still on par with WTSG. So I mean, they've got to be thinking that those guys are going to do well if the 6th place on like basically the invite bracket is getting rated the same as the 3rd. I think there's definitely going to be some upsets. I don't think it's going to necessarily fall in the order that those guys are qualified in.
What do you think? What are you thinking, Adam?
First off, I would put a solid grand on them not winning the finals.
Okay.
Because
That's an
I
easy
mean,
bet to
and
place.
I don't think they're going to place top out of the 8 that just progressed as well. To be honest with you, I reckon they'll fall in the middle of the pack. I reckon. Welcome to South Georgia, about to turn things up a little bit, and I
That's
think
Tom's
NA
squad.
could do a little better as well. I do think Ghost and Optic a bit slow, just they're kind of always in the middle of the pack. They're never like right at the front, but I reckon this event could be the time to do it. And I just want to say Navi not making it through is ridiculous. They should be right at the top, to be honest with you. And the fact they haven't, it's a bit surprising. And I want to know what's going on in their camp. I want to know what's going on in their camp as to why that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think the Navi organization is facing a couple heartbreaks, right? They're not making it to the finals of the Star Series Season 2. They also just lost to Ghost Gaming at the DreamHack Masters Stockholm. I'm a huge CS boy, so I'm just going to bring that up. That was like shocking. That was a pretty shocking upset. It was close, too. I think it was
one of the big
15 to
things
17.
with Battle Royale, though, isn't it? Like, it's the kind of thing where one team can just have a couple of bad rounds and suddenly you can't win. And it's kind of, as I mentioned the first time I was around, equating it to horse racing. It's a horse can fall and, you know, you have a couple of bad rounds and suddenly you just can't pull it back.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a fair point.
I mean, like you said, the format's just crazy. I mean, they played 5 games each day for 4 days. That kind of seems like a lot. That's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a lot of PUBG.
But it's the best way. It's the best way to eliminate a lot of the not eliminate, but like create a level playing field for like all the randomness that can be in the game, in terms of where the circle's going to be, where the plane's going, and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's a good thing that they're doing it over 20 games over 4 days instead of like just 1 day's worth of 5 games or something and see who comes top. That's when you'd see real upsets, and it'd just be completely random.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need like at least 12 games for it to work. Otherwise, it's too much RNG.
So the PUBG competitive space, this is something that's obviously still pretty much in its early stages. Do you guys think that this format that we're seeing right here is probably the best route for competitive PUBG? And that's open to whoever.
Go on, Drain. You're the expert, mate.
Let's hear it.
I think there will be changes like going forward, but like in general, I think it's the right direction so far. So
I mean, just as a spectator to the sport.
I mean, there have been
We're being
changes.
far too polite here. Go on. You want it, Dren. You want it. You earned it. You take it.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's hear it.
like they started out using like the default settings and stuff, and then the pros have like developed their own circle settings and stuff that are now used in tournaments, and it's been like it's been developing for the past year, and it's gotten so much better, and I think it will just continue. Like both the tournament organizers and like everyone else will keep adapting, both in like production and in how like the actual rules for the game. I think it will just
as
continue.
a spectator, there's been massive just changes to the spectating experience, like just the camera work, the ability to show firefights like split screen across it. It's really stepped up its game. I mean, I know there's been a lot of debate around whether assists should be counted point wise and different metrics just to calculate points for maybe teams that feel like they're getting robbed quite a lot. But I mean, I haven't played it competitively in any way, shape, or form and follow it as a spectator, but it's definitely exponential growth in kind of the experience that you get while watching it. So I'm absolutely loving where it's going.
In terms of
But even like
oh, go on, Adam.
even like this. Sorry, even like the small changes now and like small implementations where they're, you can see how many players are alive for a team at any given moment, and that'll update on the fly. Like that kind of stuff just really helps as a spectator, because if you've got 16 teams on a map, you're not going to be able to follow everything, and the observer's got a hard enough job as it is. So I mean, to see one player of Ghost Gaming's died, like, and they're fighting up the game and something like that, it makes it a lot easier to kind of follow. So I think it's about the small changes at this point in terms of like the point system and like playing over numerous days. Like that has to stay, or else it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm with you. I think the spectating experience is insane. I mean, I had to bone up on my PUBG knowledge a lot in the last couple days, but I'm watching some of these clips, and they're in the final circle. I think there's 3 teams alive, maybe 6 players, and you know they have the up in the air like the bird's eye, and then all of a sudden they cut to this camera that's in like a car. So like you're sitting in the driver's seat watching like this battle. It's like I really have no idea how they even do that. Does anyone know how they're getting that with the spectator view?
They have multiple spectators that they switch between. Like some of them have like 16 spectators or something.
And they're just kind of like free roaming the map.
And then like a director who like chooses which camera it's showing.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, they're nailing that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That's exceptional. So I think it would be a good time to bring up the invites. So there on the right side, you have the qualifiers, and on the left, you have the invites. So let's go ahead. Who is winning it? Drain, let's hear it.
FaZe Clan or Team Liquid, I think. I think they're the 2 that are above everyone else right now.
But why?
Well, like in the past
I'm grilling
6 big events, FaZe Clan have placed in the top 4 each time. So like that, they're just so much more consistent than all the other teams.
What is it that is separating teams in this esport? Like, what is it really? Is it the teamwork, communication? Like, I really don't know. And you're the expert, Drain, so I want to hear from you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, there's of course like mechanical skill, like getting headshots and stuff, and teamwork, like tactics, similar to CS:GO. But I think the biggest difference between like the top teams and the teams a bit below is like their strategic approach to the game, like how they move across the maps, how they scout, and how they position themselves on the map depending on where the circle goes, stuff like that. I think that's the main difference between like FaZe and Liquid and maybe teams further down in the field.
So a little bit of luck.
I would say
positioning.
It was demonstrated in the like the group stage of this event actually, with like Optic Gaming doing a lot of like 2-2 splits. Like they've got like incredible gun skill like Baja Waka, Valiant, all that kind of stuff. They are incredible, but like they maybe made some of the poorer calls, and it kind of didn't really pay off for them. So sometimes it can work, sometimes it can't, and maybe they'd have been better off staying together in certain circumstances. Maybe it's better to split, and things like that can really change the entirety of a round and maybe the mindset going forward. So yeah, it's like in-game sense is like huge.
Yeah, one thing I was always wondering as well with that kind of drop style, when we were at PGI in Leicester, we saw that there was a couple of teams that did split either one person off to go to a different place or split 2 and 2, as you say. Is it an in-game meta? So like with other esports titles, you get the meta changes and evolves, or is it very drop-dependent metas? Because what you tend to find is some teams always go to different places and no one will contest them in professionals because they know, say, FaZe always drops school. I don't know if that's true, probably isn't, but some people will always drop places. So is it team-specific metas or drop-specific metas, or is it just as an esport, does it have a meta that evolves?
Drain, it's all yours, buddy.
Drain, save us.
Well, do you mean like really early on, like while they're looting, if they're
Yeah,
split
so
up then, or
essentially
like
dropping strategies, I suppose, is kind of where it comes in with either 3-1 splits or 4 together.
Yeah, I mean, like really early on, if you split up or not, that's probably mostly depending on if there's like a lot of loot in one location where you drop, or if you're dropping at like a position where there's not that much loot, maybe you have to split up more. But then later on in the match, some teams split up like in the later circles as well, and that's mostly just to like both when you're split up, there's a higher chance that the next circle will land on you since you're covering more of the area, and then also you can scout more of the opponents and know their positions, and then you can make more informed decisions. So that's mostly the reasons later on.
Do you think it's a bit of a survival tactic as well? So like if we get attacked by a team now, only 2 of us can die, so we've still got 2 people there. So like in the later rounds of a tournament, for example, if placement's everything, then maybe they're thinking, right, well we'll protect ourselves in case we get barraged by a team, and we'll have 2 people hiding behind a tree.
Yeah, I mean, you usually see that when teams have like 1 or 2 players left, they just like try to send them somewhere central and just try to hide, like snake it as long as possible. And if there are 2 of them, that it's usually a good idea to split up, since I mean you're not going to win any fights anyway when there's just 1 or 2 of you.
Yeah. Ah, cool.
So I got a question. What is up with the third-person perspective and first-person perspective? Are these completely separate leagues? Or what's the deal?
They were separated at PGI,
Uh-huh.
but for the most part, like I'd say first-person is now practically the standard. And like the majority of tournaments you're going to watch, you're going to see first-person. But my understanding is third person was big in like Asia region, so a lot of the leagues and tournaments there would be on third person, whereas now they're all kind of agreeing on one single thing, which can only be good as like a universal rule set and like a level playing field. So going into a tournament like PGI, they kind of I believe they accommodated to all regions and all play styles and all rules and stuff really.
So would we expect to see third person dropping out over the next, say, 12 months or so, and just leaving first person as kind of the be-all and end-all?
Yes.
So that's
I hope so.
Pretty sure that's the case.
So you can't mix those two, correct?
What, in like a single
third
game?
person, you can force first person if you're in third person.
Okay. That's fair.
But you're not
Speaking of
gonna
the
see
that.
PGI,
You don't
Speaking
really
of-
want both at the same tournament. That's like, I mean, the players don't want to have to practice in 2 different modes.
right?
Like
right.
everyone is aiming at one mode for the future, and I'm pretty sure it will be FPP, first person. That is.
Only makes sense.
Yeah, that seems the most popular, and honestly, it's a lot. I like it. I prefer that in the spectator mode. I don't know about you guys, but watching it, FPP seems like the way.
Yeah, definitely. It's something everyone's grown up with as well, with your Call of Duties and your Halos, and it's much more approachable than having third person, where people are just
Halo's my
looking
jam.
at a wall for a few minutes waiting for people. It's not as much fun to watch.
Right, right. You have that little bit of a tactical advantage, so I feel like it forces a bit of a slower play style.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. And when you can just lay down in the grass and still see everything, can see behind you, see anything you want, it's just, yeah, it doesn't do it for me personally.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of PGI, the Invitational, Genji Esports went on to win that, correct? In third person?
The third person. Yeah, third person.
Okay. So they're in this event. They qualified. I think they were right under Team MVP, if that's correct. Yes. So they seeded
Yeah.
second out of the qualifiers. So
Mhm.
being that they won the PGI, you think there's a chance for them to kind of do something at this tournament? Adam's saying no.
No, did you see their first person placement at PGI?
No. Was it bad?
Exactly. It wasn't first. I'll put it that way. I think it was something like 8th or 9th.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
So I mean, oh, was it worse than that?
No, I think it was around 8th. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly, but it's
So-
somewhere around there.
No. So I mean, like, yeah, so they placed second in the group stage, but that's not against Liquid and all the other teams that are going to absolutely destroy them in first person, in my opinion. So I mean, I can't imagine a kind of repeat success there. I mean, success for them will probably be placing in the top half of the standings going into the finals, in my opinion.
Is everyone on board with that? I mean, it seems like from what
Yeah,
everyone's
it seems
saying
to
that
make
the two
sense to
perspectives
me.
are just
Well,
a world different.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the Asian teams that mainly played in third person, as Adam was saying, they did do really well at the third person, but not anywhere near as well as kind of the teams that specialized in first person did at third. So whereas people who were really good at first person were pretty darn good at third, people who were really good at third just weren't good at first. It didn't kind of translate as well. So kind of FaZe and WTSG performed a lot better in first person and third person as a whole, rather than just specializing in one. So I think you'll find as it gets to the next set stages, the teams that are really good at both will outperform the teams that are amazing at one and just bottom of the pack at the other. Just won't carry as well.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the whole shift as they like kind of nail down the rules of competitive PUBG. Like now, like switching to FPP, just like how the meta is changing and the teams are changing and trying to adapt. So like Gen G, a team that won in TPP, is now, you know, somewhat of a, I don't even know if I call him a dark horse. I'm not really even, you know, at liberty to say something like that, but that's kind of what it's looking
Then again,
like.
OMG did win first person at PGI. So I mean, they proved that it's possible to have a team that's good at both. But I mean, it's not entirely transferable between every team. So yeah, Gen G, they're not. I don't think they're going to go all the way.
Who is that, Adam? Who won?
OMG, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, I must didn't hear you for a sec. I thought I misheard you.
No, just dropping knowledge bombs, mate. Knowledge bombs.
Dude, I'm blowing up. I'm losing limbs left and right. Let's, Tone, if we can bring up that team list again, because I went off on like an insane tangent. I asked Drain who he was pinning to win, and I want to hear it from Mr. Adam Fitch, the expert. Who do you think's gonna win this?
It has to be. Let me have a look. It's going to have to be Ghost Gaming because I mean they absolutely just destroyed in the group stages. You know what I mean? Like they just came. No. It's going to be FaZe Clan or Team Liquid, and
Boo.
I can't pick between the two. Because it's impossible because they are both just I think the best teams in the world. But I can bet on Tempo Storm not winning, even though they did well. Well, they won the Pan Continental. But I mean, I imagine they're going to be right at the bottom of the pack with FaZe at the opposite end of the table. Yeah, there we go, FaZe. Fuck it, I'll commit.
Okay, go for it. What about you, Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I just can't bring myself to say the word FaZe. So I'm gonna pick a top three because I don't want to commit too greatly. Oh, too right. I think Fnatic are gonna win this. You know, like in wrestling where they just bring on a surprise contender who just comes in and wins it all. Fnatic are going to come bursting through that door, just drop out the helicopter in the last round, drop a nuke on it.
And just win it all.
It's very high odds that Fnatic will do that, so if you want to put a bet on now. So yeah, I'm thinking probably Team Liquid will come in. I think they'll probably come top three. I think FaZe will have an upset, in all honesty. My top three would be Team Liquid, MVP, and WTSG. I think MVP really have something to prove. Team Liquid are tired of being second seed. They'll want to take it. They always get high kills. And I think they'll be able to kill a lot of the other teams more successfully than FaZe probably will. And WTSG, just because I absolutely love them to bits. And Lawson's awesome. So I just think that would be my top three picks for this one.
So there is like a point spread to how this works, right? It factors in placing and kills. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I think I had a graphic for that, but I'm not sure if I actually like loaded it into the system. I definitely
I
didn't.
was just about to say, you've really upped your production value since that first episode. That screen wipe and all these graphics. It's really good stuff.
Thank you. I'm trying, but we're still just
No.
messing up at a meteoric rate. Like we're crashing and burning. So, does anyone have that on the top? I think. Let's see. I'm on PUBG Radar, where I think I saw it initially.
I do not recommend that website. Do not recommend that website whatsoever.
I
No,
don't
know what they're on
I think I
about.
got I think I got a virus coming there.
I don't think we have the point system in that article, so I'm not sure.
See what I mean? It's just not good. It's not good.
I swear we do. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We're gonna get that queued up right now. Do you think the point system is pretty much accurate of what it should be in terms of competitive PUBG? Let's go to Drain first with that.
Sorry, I just disconnected from the call a bit. I missed the question.
Oh no, I'm saying. So you're familiar with the point system, and we'll work on getting that up. But would you agree that this is kind of going to be the right path for competitive PUBG?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think most of the players agree that the current point system that's being used, like at this event and at similar events, they usually differ a little bit, but they're usually almost like pretty similar. Like you have, I think in this case they have like 200 points for a win or something like that,
Mhm.
and then like 7 points I think for a kill. It's usually like that's usually the ratio you see.
Right. I feel like, I mean, what is like the average first place team? Like, how many kills are they getting in a game?
Like 10 kills maybe, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we have the points.
Yeah, if it's a good game, then they're gonna get a 20 bomb. But I mean that's quite rare.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
So how are teams hitting the top seeds? Is it more the placing? I mean, I'm sure it's more the hitting that first place number. But are the kills having like a major factor in that? Or is it really the emphasis on surviving to the end of the game?
I think most of the emphasis is on surviving, but kills can help a lot. And it's usually the teams that like place top 5 like consistently. They usually climb to the top of the rankings. Like if you have, I think one of the Chinese teams in the group stage won like 2 or 3 of the games, but they still didn't qualify. I think it was XQuest or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to consistently place in the top in order to win.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I suppose the thing is, if you're coming in 16th place, you're not going to have 20 kills. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I suppose, yeah, the higher ranks will always get more kills, but it can just better be used to differentiate between first and maybe 6th or 8th place. Just sorts out the top of the pack.
I see what you mean. It's
But
not like
if
quite. Go, Adam.
Go on, mate, sorry.
We're,
No, I
like,
was just
fighting.
saying, like, if you look at the point difference between like an Optic Gaming and Ghost in like the group stages, it's like a couple of kills means absolutely everything. So I mean, like, even though you do place an emphasis on placing well, like you can't disregard getting kills because it could be the difference between placing like first and second, or like first to fourth. Like sometimes the point differences are so minute that like you like that's the good thing about PUBG. Like it doesn't emphasize like just hiding the whole time. You're not playing hide and seek. You're not like laying in front of a tree for the whole game. Like you do need to get those kills just to secure things sometimes.
No.
Yeah, and
I was
me.
gonna say, didn't the guys who got through from qualifying, there was like the 4th to 6th position, there was only 50 points in between all of them?
Yeah,
so if you think
absolutely.
a couple of kills over a couple of days would make all the difference for your seeding.
Well, I'm looking at the standings right now, and the difference between Optic Gaming in 7th and Ghost in 8th was 1 point. And you see it right there. 1 freaking point.
There we go.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Right?
And then so what 20 points between 7th and 6th, 6th and 7th, stuff like that. It's just like
Method and WTSG is what, 12. This
Nothing.
is where we
Yeah,
all
it's
demonstrate
absolutely
how
nothing.
amazing at maths we are.
the gap between second and third's big, but below that it was just like it was a complete fight until the end, till the very like the 20th
Yeah.
round to see who was actually going to like book their place in the finals. And I think that's what makes, well, that's part of what makes PUBG a really good watch, and it's definitely better than Fortnite. Anyway, just putting that out there.
That's fair. I mean,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm mainly a Fortnite guy. That hurts, but I really do like PUBG. I haven't gotten the opportunity to play it much.
Right. If you told me this before you invited me on, Cody, then I mean, you'd have someone else here.
You would
I
have
mean, Fortnite. No. Fortnite's. I don't know how to put it. I can't find the words to describe just how terrible it is, and like their attempt at esports, like the summer skirmish, that was like.
It is. That was
I actually
horrible.
feel sick.
Oh my god.
I feel sick.
It was bad.
It's
I
not
can't
good, mate.
deny it. That was bad. Like
Not good.
in terms of like competitive leagues, PUBG is light years ahead of Fortnite. Like light years. You know what I mean?
Must admit, though, I did enjoy the Pro-Am tournament that Fortnite did. I think they did really well with that one, like bringing the streamers in, getting on the back of Ninja's kind of success at the time,
That was
and
fun.
still continuing to be.
It's because
It
it's
was just a good
basically
giggle.
wrestling. It's just like you follow the personalities, and I mean that's good in esports, but like it's a personality-driven game as opposed to
Oh god,
a competition-driven
it's a
game with
streamer's
good
game.
personalities. Yeah, so I mean,
it's a game for
burn it,
streamers.
kill it with fire, kill it with fire.
I never really thought of it like that, Adam. That's actually kind of funny. It's true. It's like in a
There you
weird
go,
way,
mate.
it's actually true. So, you can actually bet on the Star Series Season 2. Is that right, Tom?
Mhm. That is
Okay.
correct. It is indeed. Bunch of betting providers have just been releasing their markets pretty much today. They do it quite last second. So you generally find the day before they'll start releasing all of their markets just so that they can calculate all the different kind of odds that are coming up and the different seeds. One of the quite big ways that a lot of betting houses are doing it at the moment is that you can bet against team against team. So betting which team will do better in a round, not just this one will win it overall, but will FaZe beat Team Liquid overall? Will FaZe beat Team Liquid in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Which will get more kills? So, I mean, depending on the kind of betting provider you're working with, you can get quite granular with it, which is something I've not seen before. I think it's one of the first times they've brought it in for some of the competitive leagues and matches. And it's definitely something that I quite enjoy doing the round before. You can see how teams are performing, and then the round before, boom, just smack a quick bet on and go from there.
That's pretty neat. So where are these markets available? Because I was surfing around a little bit last night. You said they just announced
Yeah, I mean,
a handful of them this morning.
after you invited me on, I kind of thought, right, I better actually do some research so I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I checked them all out, and they were all closed markets. Like, nope, we're not having any of it. But now I've been monitoring it today. Just follow a lot of the bet providers on Twitter, and they've started to release their markets. So I mean, the four main ones that I found are Thunderpick, GGBet, Nitrogen Sports, and Bet365. So I mean, depending on where the viewer is geographically, they'll be locked down by region. So I know Bet365 is very UK based. I know over in the US, you're probably not going to have a great time. I don't know because
No, we're not. We're not having
I'm
a
not
good
the
time.
best one for regulations. Thunderpick, you might have a bit of luck with. I know they're very crypto based. Obviously, I never recommend using a VPN and going around it. There's not a good thing. But there are probably places where you can look to try and make bets in certain places. Potentially Nitrogen Sports to recommend that one as well. But Bet365, as far as I can see, has the widest range of markets. So one of the things that I absolutely love about PUBG, and it'll probably be if I ever become an action figure and you pull the string on my back, it'll be, I like that PUBG is like horse racing. And that's mainly just in the betting as well. You've got your kind of top three finishes. So you don't even have to know who's going to win or who's going to get most kills. You can just say, who's going to come top three. And it really, I mean, your odds are a lot lower, but it means that you can start placing bets and just have a bit more success with them properly. So as we were kind of going through earlier, if I could, I've actually put bets on my top three of Team MVP and WTSG as the top three. So I'll be very happy if that actually comes to fruition. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen it before, as you were saying, Cody, but the actual ability to bet teams v teams really, really tickled me. So if I just switch into it now, let me just quickly try and find one. So, I mean, looking at team point matchups, So it places first seed against second, third against fourth. So you're always betting against their kind of counterpart.
Okay.
But say FaZe versus Team Liquid, you're looking at pretty even odds. So 1.72 to 2. As we come down to WTSG, let me just find them on the screen here. Oh, they've disappeared. Oh, there they are. 1.83 to 1.83. So it's kind of like just pitting them head to head with pretty much the same odds. And you can do that round by round or overall. And you can also compare number of kills if you don't want to do
Wow.
just the outright winner. So there are some pretty in-depth markets, and it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, that's really cool. Going like against one or two teams seems like a lot less daunting than picking between 16 of them right now. Because
Yeah, definitely.
from like the outside looking in, I mean, you have 16 teams. These are hundreds of players, right? You know, going up
Oh,
against
yeah.
each
No.
other over, what was it, 20 games?
Come on, mate. Do your maths. Do your maths. Come on.
Dude, I think I finished college in
16
algebra.
Times 4 is. Go on. Go on. Go on. I'm waiting for you, Cody. Come on.
70 something? 70? No, 64.
64.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a guy.
It's like
What a guy,
countdown.
yeah.
Oh, you don't
There's
probably
still
get
quite a lot
countdown
of
in America.
Oh, God. No, probably not.
This is probably why, because it takes 10 minutes. You have to have an actual clock on the back wall, like an hour clock.
I was
Uh,
ballparking. Give me a break. I got a
Sorry, mate,
16
I totally
teams,
get it.
120 players. Man.
But no, it's a great thing to do. I mean, with the betting that's coming up, I'd also recommend, like, because there's such a lot of options that you can choose. If you find one of those sites that you like, grab a good bonus, a deposit bonus, a multiplier free bet, whatever tickles you pickle, and just like chuck that
Tickles
on.
your pickle.
You can get 5. Yeah, you heard it here first. And just put that like free bet on just someone to win, and it's a nice way to just do that. So you know, it's not, you can just pick one of the 16 at kind of far-fetched odds. You might win something out of it, and then maybe place a few other bets with, you know, real money, and just see where you end up.
Tom,
Should be quite good fun.
Tom, I've got a question.
Oh, fun.
Are you aware of a website that will give me my money back when I inevitably lose my bet?
Don't think that exists, or if it did, it wouldn't be profitable and probably would shut down quite quickly. Though
I'm
there
not
is
fussed
one,
about that. I just want my
mean-
money back.
I mean, there's Rivalry, which you can sign up and you just get a free bet when you first start. So it's not your money to lose. I don't think they've got any PUBG listed at the moment, so that kind of sucks for you. But no. Essentially, no. Betting providers don't generally give money back to losers.
Thank you very much for calling me a loser. I appreciate it.
No worries. It's inevitable.
It'd be damn nice. if
I've
they
been
did,
called that my
though.
whole life, so I mean, it doesn't even hurt. anymore.
It'd be damn nice if you did. So, Tom, you did put together a nice little graphic for us, which I was super pleased.
I did.
And it does not look like a potato, like you said. It's a very nice looking graphic. If we could go ahead and cue that up right here, which is some of the odds. Now,
Woo!
is that outright to win the event?
Nice, spicy. Yeah, so that's outright winner of the full event. So you've got FaZe is definitely the favourite at the moment at 4.5, with Team Liquid close behind. Then there's actually quite a big gap. So you've got MVP coming in after that at 10. Following on from that, let me just get the kind of outright winners coming up here. So you've got Gen G and Avanga, nice name,
Mhm.
coming in at 11. After that, it's pretty close groupings with M19, WTSG, and Pittsburgh Knights at 13. Then you kind of just jumping up to your 19s and your 21s with the rest. And bottom of the pile there is 4AM and OGN at 36. So if you want kind of a very, very much underdog to come in on that one, then OGN and 4AM are kind of your go-tos. But as I've put underneath, you kind of got your round winners, your total kills. Generally, as we were saying, like your higher ranking teams generally have a lot of the kills anyway. I know FaZe and Team Liquid had something like 103 kills or something around that mark.
Mhm.
So they'll probably be top contenders for total kills as well. So they'd be a safe bet across the board, realistically, especially if you want to pad it out to your top 3 winners. The FaZe and Team Liquid are always going to be safe bets.
There you go. We got the sick odds, sick tips right now.
They are
Liquid
pretty
with
damn
the
sick,
most
trust
kills.
me.
So I got a quick question for you, Tom. Are those odds like the culmination of the best that are available or is that a
So
specific?
at the moment, I
bookie?
looked at a few. They aren't necessarily the best available, so there is a bit of difference across the site. So as I said, they're currently just releasing the odds now, so most of those are taken from Bet365. But looking across it, it seems to be a pretty good indicator of what you're gonna get. Thunderpick does seem to be a little bit varied, so they've got WTSG at much higher rates, but then also have Pittsburgh Knights at or really low odds, I suppose you call it, rather than good odds. But I wouldn't say that's really going to be definitive. I'd definitely say have a look around a couple of the sites before you start placing your bets, but you're not going to see anything too big in the differences. Betway will probably be releasing their odds tonight, maybe early tomorrow, but I honestly think they'll follow the same kind of pattern that we're seeing here.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I think MVP, I don't know why, they're just on my radar. They finished in the top seed, like, and I want to ask Drain. He's been quiet. We don't even have his video. We just got that picture. Does MVP have any shot at this realistically?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really hard to like rank the regions against each other because they don't play that much. And like the Koreans, at least in the group stage, it looked like they were really, really strong. So I think they have a chance. But I mean, you have to look at like the past few events like over the summer. Then it looks like FaZe and Liquid are the strongest. But I mean, there could be an upset, or like maybe the Koreans have caught up to the Europeans. We'll have to see, I think.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, just looking at this tournament, and granted they haven't been playing against the so-called giants, but they've been surviving. And I wanted to tally up their first place finishes, but they had quite a few. I'd say maybe like 6 or 7. Don't quote me on that, but you know, they were making it to the end, and it seems like if teams can do that consistently, then you know, they could place in the top 3.
I'll tell you why they're doing that as well.
Let's
I'll
hear
tell
it,
you why
Adam.
they won so many. Because they were the only team with 4 alive at the end. Like,
Isn't that
every
how you
team
win the
just, like-
game?
Yeah, no, not really. You can't have one person win. Come on now, don't try and get clever. No, but seriously, like they
No.
had 4 people, and then there were teams like the Navis had like 1, and like Optic had 2, and stuff like that. And it's just the numbers are stacked against any other team that got near them. So I mean, like their ability to stay alive, which sounds simple, I know, and obvious, but like it's not easy to do to like survive against like some of the best teams in the world. But like the fact that they can do it is just like it's so much easier for them at the end game because they've got everyone there. They can watch so many different angles and like different avenues shooting at the same person. So there's no way they're going to survive.
So are you calling them out as campers, or are you saying they got
Yeah,
there
what are
through
you trying to
skill?
say, Adam?
I'm saying they're good at surviving, and I'm sticking
Staying
with
alive.
that. And I'm not saying anything else because I don't want to get bullied.
Ah, that brings me back to my Halo days, man. I miss playing competitive Halo. Just yelling at your friend, like, stay alive, stay alive. It's like, no shit. Obviously, everyone's trying to do that, but you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
funny.
shouting it doesn't actually increase your chances of staying alive. So, I mean, I don't know how helpful that actually was back in the day.
It was always the way whenever we played CSGO, like when we were down in Insomnia over in Birmingham recently, we were playing CSGO, and my role as the worst player on the team was basically hide, and if our team dies, I'd go get the sniper rifle and hide in a corner, just to balance the economy. I was just like a little runner, and I
The piggy
bank,
bank.
and that's all I needed. Yeah, exactly. I'm just running around carrying all these weapons at the end of the round, just throwing them at the beginning to everyone.
It's still very
At least I
valuable,
had a
though,
purpose.
nonetheless.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
still
You know
very
what I mean?
valuable, nonetheless. Yeah,
It's like a
exactly.
mule. A weapons mule. You doing anything illegal over there, Tom?
No, not that I'm
Trafficking
saying.
weapons.
Talk to me after the show. I'll sort you out.
We'll do. We'll hop on a call. Trying to up that reload money. Well, I think that's a super solid overview of the event. Adam, I know you reached out to me with some bit of info. You pinged me today. What was it? You said 10 out of the 16 teams that are in the event won a LAN. What is that about?
I mean, I think you've just said it, mate. To be honest with you, like over half of the teams that have made it to the finals are capable of winning a tournament, and well, have won a tournament. All the teams are basically capable of winning this tournament for the most part. So I mean, it just means that it could be like the most stacked tournament ever. Like PGI didn't have FaZe, and a couple of the teams that just didn't make it there because only 3 teams from most of the regions could progress. So in my opinion, this could be like the most competitive and probably the most like the closest tournament in PUBG yet. Just any team can win for the most part, but it's going to be FaZe.
Do you go with FaZe?
Yeah, I might as well do.
Ultimate predictions.
Well, I
Adams
want
with
Optic,
FaZe.
I want Optic to win. I want Optic to win. Optic fanboy here, 100%. Putting it out there now. But I'm not so sure.
All right, if you're going one favorite to win, one underdog, who do you got? And that's it. That's all I got. I just want to know.
And this is me, yeah?
Yeah,
Right,
starting
so
with you.
favourite,
Starting with you,
FaZe.
Fitch.
FaZe, underdogs, Knights. Pittsburgh Knights. I love them.
Okay,
Spicy.
that's a
Spicy.
European team, eh?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Okay. What about you, Tom? I already know. I know who your underdog is.
Yeah, you already know. Yeah, you definitely. Can I pick Welcome to South George Paul for both winner and underdog?
Yes.
No, probably Team Liquid for winner.
Yeah.
Welcome to South George for underdog.
Okay. And Drain, what about you? What are you thinking?
FaZe for winner and either Gen.G or Knights for underdog.
Fitch
I'm
is
happy an
loving
expert agrees with my pick.
that.
So therefore, does that make me an expert now?
I
Can
thought you were
put that
already
in
an
my
expert.
bio? Oh no, proclaim by yourself. Yeah, according to you.
That's fair. I mean, shot in the dark from me. I'm gonna say, I'll go FaZe, underdog. I'm gonna say MVP. They're staying alive. They're staying alive. And you know what? I think that's
You
why
can't
they're
have
gonna
the
win.
third seed as an underdog. I don't think that's really how
Does
it
that not
works.
work?
Can't have FaZe as an underdog or Team Liquid. Come on, someone outside of the top.
All right, then
Definitely.
I'll say Gen.G. That's just the only other team that I've actually watched.
I was really pushing for Welcome to South George there.
Oh,
let me down.
you're just upset. I think
Oh, yeah.
MVP can do something here, based off what I've seen, which
Yeah.
is not a lot, but I have a good feeling about them. They're staying alive.
Yeah, I really think that's one of the best
That's all I
things.
gotta say.
Anything could happen. So always makes it exciting.
Okay. Rock on. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of The Reload. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Y'all are welcome
Welcome.
anytime. Drain,
Thank you.
Tom, and Adam, again, thank you guys, and we will talk soon. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
And that'll do it for this episode of The Reload, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. We really appreciate it. And obviously, huge shout out to Drain, Adam, and Tom for coming on and talking some PUBG with me today. We got the Star Series and iLeague Season 2 finals coming up real fast, so we hope you enjoyed our show and got some good tips out of it. And right before, we want to tease this shot right here. That's right, predict a winner, win some merch. We did our DreamHack Masters Stockholm preview last week, so you can go over and watch those tips. We know the tournament is well underway, and it's super exciting. A lot of upsets happening already off the bat, but you can never get enough info, and we got some great tips for you over there on that end. But here it is. You pick the DreamHack Masters Stockholm outright winner, and you score a Reload tee. Just surf over to our Twitter, and we will get you hooked up with a free shirt. Just tweet us at the Reload FM with who you think is going to win under that tweet specifically, and we'll hook you up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Cody Luongo, and I will see you next week.